Guys, on the table we have the Team Corally Kagama 6S 1/8 scale basher. I think this is possibly the hottest RC release of 2023. Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Chris with the C. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for joining me today. Big shout out to Team Corally for actually asking me to do these videos with them. It's a big honour for me, this. Guys, I want to show you this vehicle. Now, I will give you my honest opinion on the truck. I'll give you my thoughts and stuff like that. So, guys, please don't think this is any way, shape or form biased. I'm going to be looking at this vehicle. I'm going to unbox it for you. I'll give you my first thoughts on what I'm thinking about the truck, and we'll go from there. Big shout out to all of you obviously watching all the videos at the moment. It's massively important to hit that like button, and yeah, come on then, I'll stop waffling, let's go and have a look. I'm really excited about this. Come on, let's go. Right, okay, so first things first, guys, I'm absolutely blown away by the way this thing looks. It is absolutely gorgeous. That colour, oh my god, honestly. So you've got like this kind of it's like a matte finish that meets gloss all the way around the car, and as you can see, the detail then is following through with the colours all the way through the vehicle, right up the wing. And yeah, it's got that kind of stout bulldog kind of look to it, really kind of. Now, I was trying to think of what this actually reminds me of, and if anything, guys, I'll put it up on screen now. It reminds me of a World War II bomb, if that makes sense. So you've got that kind of stout-looking front end that swoops down towards the rear. First impressions are quite nice, actually, to be honest with you. It's a lot better than I imagined it to actually look. I know, easy to say, right? When you look at a picture online, it doesn't really tell the story of what you're actually looking at. And I think Team Corally have actually killed it with the way this car looks. Is absolutely gorgeous. A few things to notice straight away. I've noticed tyres are quite soft and subtle. They've got this kind of Badlands look to them. Very aggressive tread pattern going on. Obviously, you've got your roof skids there. Now, the wing is quite low, actually, compared to... I thought it would be more kind of up here somewhere. But, yeah, as you can see, it sits down quite low at the rear of the vehicle. But, yeah, body and everything is really looking nice. Wing, it's got some flex to it. I will have a look at that wing, actually, just in case I want to check the wing mounts and everything. Now, as you know, everything I do on this channel, guys, I do tend to go through the vehicle quite intensely before we actually run them, and I will be doing this with this vehicle as well, checking the diffs, checking the servo, setting the end points, checking the shock fluids and everything else, and just going over the car fully before you actually send it. If you're looking for someone who's just literally going to take it out of the box and send them off to the moon, I'm not your guy for that. I do like to tuck into a vehicle quite in depth, and in some ways it's actually a good thing because you get to know your vehicle as well. But yeah, first look, I do like the design. Logo obviously everything's put in a nice place. It's nothing kind of garish or in your face, apart from the colours obviously. You've got this kind of, and it reminds me a little bit of the kind of hoonigan look. It's got that kind of matte looking colour with obviously your bright neon colours and everything else that's going on. It's really smart looking. Little details as well, obviously, where your Allen keys go through your wing and stuff like that, where it's captured. You've got obviously the metal inserts for your Allen keys to sit into. That's nice. As you can see, your shock tower is just poking through, and the body then slopes down towards the rear. Well, as you know on the channel, guys, if this, absolutely gorgeous. It might only be a little thing to some people, but I will say, yeah, seal of approval on that one, guys. Seal of approval. Now, body, just kind of looking underneath. I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll have a look at the body in a moment, but first impressions on the body are, it feels quite tough. I will probably shoe glue this and just toughen it up just to give it some longevity. Okay, wow, first impressions are very good, actually. Now, key thing to mention here that I noticed Team Corally have done with this one. Now, as I say, I haven't owned one, but I have actually looked at the other vehicles. Where you've got your control arm that obviously goes down to the wheel where the pillow balls are, they've actually added these inserts in there to give it a bit of strengthening as well. So as you can see, you've got 2 Allen keys and you've got an insert that sits inside your suspension arm and then actually goes down towards the rear of the the arms on the vehicle. Shocks are really, really nice. They've got a lovely bit of tension. I will take it off the stand in a moment. You've got the Curon 825 motor. I believe this is a 4278 motor, 2050 kV, and the Torox 185 ESC. Obviously it's Hobbywing rebranded. I believe this is a Max 8 ESC, not the G2, but it's Max 8. So this should, my programming card should work absolutely great with this vehicle. I should be able to obviously adjust obviously your punch and your brake and everything else you need to turn the back up. It does have a 7.2 volt, 7.4 volt back. I think it's currently set at 6, I believe. It might be, you know, so on and so forth. 25 kilogram Varipop servo. Just everything seems to be set out quite nicely. Now, the first thing that points out to me here, I think they've actually gone with the upgraded servo saver as well. So I know on the previous vehicles there was an upgrade for the servo saver, and from what I can see here, it is actually in the vehicle straight out the bat. Now, let's talk value for money here. I think this vehicle, if you kind of price yourself up against, let's say, Armour, Traxxas and a few others, this is very, very decently priced, even down to some of the screws and everything they've put in there. What they've done is, and I'll do a close-up for you in a moment, again, these metal inserts they've used on the wing are actually on the chassis as well. Metal servo horn. I'm not sure what the servo is going to be like. As you know, I do tend to swap my servos. I've got a brand that I like using, but I'm going to give this a go first. Steering seems nice. There's a nice angle on the steering actually. Pillow balls, obviously quite a big thing. 70mm hexes all the way through. Now, one of the key things I was wanted to show you here is the amount of bracing that's gone into the vehicle. Now, this by here is not far off a 15mm copper pipe there, guys. It's like between a 10 and a 15mm. I'm not sure what the diameter is, but I can measure that. But this bracing system goes all the way through. Now, pointing up towards the rear of the vehicle, there's your shock tower, obviously. What they've actually done is a 3-brace system, and it comes right the way down from the bottom of the diff case here, all the way up through the vehicle and meets the top of the shock tower. And then you've obviously got your 2 more anchor points then further on, which is going to really toughen up the rear of the vehicle here. Anti-roll bars fitted as standard, as you can see on the front of the vehicle, and obviously on your rear. Mud guards, again, they feel of a good plastic. You know, obviously, now the beauty of these, some people don't like them. I actually do. What they'll actually do is basically stop any debris from the front of the vehicle as you're running it, actually going onto your drive shafts. I believe these are dog bones. Are they dog bones? Yeah, the dog bone drive shafts, and on the front you got your CVDs. What else have we got? Now, I tell you what, let's take the car off the stand, shall we? There you go, that's a bit better. It's off the stand here. Let's just check the suspension. Very, very nice actually. And there's a lot of travel here. I mean, Christ, look at that. I can get my whole arm underneath the vehicle. In fact, that is massive. Absolutely massive clearance underneath it. That's probably some of the best clearance I've seen. I do like, obviously, this little foam block. Now, why have they put this on? For some people who don't know. So, obviously, when you put your body on top, there you go. Well, that's how, if you do have any sort of crashes from above, e.g. the car lands on its roof, what that's actually going to do is take away any of the shock in the vehicle. So that's nice. Obviously, you can feel it underneath the roof there, so obviously the roof isn't going to cave in when you land on it. Now, body, as you can see, quite standard looking, but quite thick actually as well. And I have seen, one thing I will mention, I've seen the top of the shock towers actually catching on there. So again, I'm going to shoe glue this, and this isn't a common thing, guys, I'm not going to lie. Most manufacturers, the top of the shock towers catch the body, so if you shoe glue it, it is going to prolong the length, the life and length of your body. Bouncing back to the vehicle itself. Now, obviously your control arms going out to your vehicles here on the rear are non-adjustable. Now, if you actually look at that there, they're actually composite. Now, I'm okay with that actually, to be honest with you, because Corally would have done their homework when it comes to this vehicle to find out the best camber settings for it. And let's have a look. As you can see, the wheels they're not squatting in any sort of way or bent in any shape or form. The front ones should be adjustable, but the rear of the vehicle, these plastic links, in a heavy impact will actually work very, very well. And what you'll do is actually take away some of the shock and not damage. Now, normally when you've got hardened steel or something like that, these bend on a regular basis if you do start sending them. And so what they're using is quite a strong composite plastic there. And as you can see, yeah, they seem quite tough. They seem quite tough. Now, CNC machined gears. I will be tucking into the diffs. Now, I believe the center diff on this one is 200. I'll have to check what the diff oils are. I'm waiting for my contact with Corally to get back to me to give me the stock fluids, and I am going to run this stock out the box, all right, to start off with. I like the way they've actually put the on-off switch on the back of the vehicle here. Again, this previously was mounted to the center brace here, and it kind of flapped about a bit, but yeah, they've actually put it in a composite box there, so it's mounted to the chassis. Let's turn the vehicle over. Now, as you can see here, your arms are very, very thick. Now, one thing to mention though, by the looks on things, that you can actually buy inserts to go inside the arms, and I think I will do this actually, because what that'll actually do is strengthen up your lower arms a bit. Obviously, as I mentioned there, just turning the car over, as you can see, they're captured. Now, underneath, you have got the option to put them in the arms as well. 3mm thick 6061 chassis. It isn't 7075, but if you look at the length of the chassis here, it's not actually that long, and I've got a feeling this should hold up and with the amount of bracing that's in that vehicle, that should hold up pretty well. Now, obviously 7075 is a great strong chassis. If you're going to be sending this 30-40 foot in the air, there is a possibility this chassis will bend. Is capable of bending if you land it incorrectly. But for the sort of thing that I do, e.g. couple of light jumps, coming off bankings, landing on downward slopes, that sort of thing, I think that's absolutely awesome. Right, okay, sorry about that, the camera cut out. Right, okay, so as you can see here, guys, you have got some really hefty skids on the front and the rear of the vehicle, again, tying into the chassis quite nicely. Now, when I mentioned about the composite links, as you can see here, they do, again, on the front and rear of the vehicle, have composite links on your steering as well, so that's actually quite nice. Now, flipping the vehicle back over, it does come with XT90s. I will be possibly swapping these out to EC5s. That's just the battery connector I use. But as you can see, you can run it in one 6S pack or two 3S packs, or even one 4S pack if you wanted, or two 2S packs. Absolutely no problems at all. Moving this away here, what you've actually got as well, if you want to run your longer packs, you can actually remove this spacer here, and then obviously gives you the option to, space wise, to actually put a larger pack in there, which is quite good for me because I run some graphene batteries and I can never quite get them in any vehicle. So again, quite impressed. Other thing to mention, now I don't know if you're going to pick this up, I might have to change cameras in a moment, but there is an alloy, and I believe the alloy diffs. Is the camera going to pick that up? That's a question. I don't know if you can see inside there, guys, but here there is an alloy diff case in there, red metal alloy diff case. Overall impressions of the vehicle, really, really nice. Now the tyres, I haven't actually heard anyone complaining about them, but on first impressions they do feel, they will give you a lot of air authority. The ballooning up, I think obviously that's going to be fine. Now someone who does tend to run a lot on grass, again, tread pattern is absolutely awesome, but are these going to be too soft? We'll have to try that out. I have noticed as well on the tyres, they're not actually vented, but they are vented from the actual rims. Now, I might try actually covering the vent holes up in the rims. I was talking to a couple of the boys on RC Buddies, and they're saying basically cover up the vent holes, and that will actually help with the ballooning, number one. Now, other things to mention, as I say, your hinge pin holders are actually captured from underneath the vehicle there. So there's 2 screws, and obviously that goes up through your hinge pin holder, and that's underneath there, underneath the actual skid plate. So if you take this skid plate off, underneath there should be 2 screws holding the actual hinge pin holders in. Now the ESC, I'm quite impressed actually, to be honest with you. They've actually gone for a full hobby wing setup. Yes, it's 2 rocks, but these are rebranded by Team Corally to obviously go in their vehicles. But yeah, as you can see, the ESC, the wiring is all neat and tidy. Everything is done to a very nice standard. Now these on the side, I'm not quite sure what they're for. The only thing I can think of is possibly to give the body some support. Any side impacts, the body will, it'll basically bang against the side support there. Now I'm going to swap the camera over a second, guys, and then I'll be able to show you a bit more in depth on some of the features on the vehicle, and we'll go from there. I'll see you in a second. guys, when I said obviously about the suspension arms, remember obviously I showed you above with the Allen keys, obviously you have got the option here to put the inserts in. So that is an optional extra, which I think, to be honest with you, I probably will do just to give it that a bit more rigidity. Whether it'll need it, I don't know, because these suspension arms really are quite thick. But I think the shock rod ends are actually the upgraded versions as well. And then obviously you've got your skid plate. Now, where obviously your alloy hinge pin holder connects to is right by there, guys, right by there. So these screws are going through the chassis, through the skid plate, through the chassis, through the diff, I believe. Is that going through the diff? Yeah, I think it's going through the diff and then through the hinge pin holder. So it might not actually be through the diff there. I don't know. I need to check that. There's your chassis, all laser etched as well. Very, very nice. Again, 70mm hex. I think they've done an absolutely cracking job, yeah? Right, okay. Let's show you the wheels. Right, guys, so these are the wheels that they're providing with this vehicle, as you can see here. Now, as you can see, sidewalls are quite soft, actually. And they are vented inside the wheel. See the vent hole there? Now, what I'm planning on doing is putting a bit of black tape over that and actually stopping the venting. Fingers crossed that I should stop water getting in the tyres as well. They've got obviously like this multi-spoke, it's very much like a BBS kind of looking wheel. Nice design. Tread pattern is very, very aggressive. Now, one thing I will say, I'm not going to pull any punches here. The one thing that I did have a bit of a gripe with was the wheel nuts. Now, as you can see here, they're non-serrated. Now, look, I'm not sure why they've done this. I will be fitting some serrated wheel nuts to the vehicle. Quite often, you can lose these in the field when you're out running. If let's say you're really, really giving it some stick, and all of a sudden your wheel pops off. Now, if you can't find this wheel nut, guys, it's pointless having your wheels on a car, because that's going to come off. But yeah, bit of a bugbear, this one. I will say, serrated wheel nuts, in my opinion, really, anything 6S, even the 3S, 4S, whatever, if you're using 70mm hexes, definitely use serrated wheel nuts. Okay, pause the video here 2 secs and we'll jump onto the body. I'll show you a bit closer. Okay, so remember we said about, obviously, as you can see, you've got the gloss pattern, and then it goes into this lovely matte colour here. It's not quite black, but it's more like a sort of really deep graphite colour. Body pins, again, I had no issues getting them on and off the vehicle, but really quite nice looking, this body. It's got that kind of tough bulldoggy looking, maybe it looks a little bit slightly Camaro-ish at the front here, hood scoop on there, quite aggressive looking. And just the shape of the body, where I was going with it earlier is World War II bombs, obviously the bombs they dropped out of planes. It's got that kind of sloping effect to the rear, isn't it? As you can imagine, fat and stout at the front and then sloping off, or maybe even some sort of plane or something like that. But it just reminds me of a bomb for some reason. Now, roof skids, they are quite hefty, as you can see. Okay, and then inside the body, guys, usual affair, but as you can see, roof skids are underneath, but I will be putting some shoe glue and drywall tape on top, scrim tape, that sort of thing, and then toughening up the body somewhat. But as you can see, there's that gloss again. See the light catching? You've got a shiny, shiny, shiny matte. It's very, very nice. And the green pops. My daughter actually said, "Dad, get the green colour, it looks absolutely awesome." You always go for red and black, see what I mean? Yeah, I'm glad it did, actually. As I say, it's got that kind of hoonigan kind of look to it. But really nice, really nice. Right, let's show you what's in the instructions and what else you get with the vehicle. Right, okay guys, so obviously this is what comes in the box with the vehicle itself. Now the handset itself is the CT2R. Now I believe this is a rebranded handset. Now let's just stop you there, shall we? There's my Absima handset, as you can see, which essentially is a Fly Sky, and so I believe this is also a Fly Sky. It's obviously a little bit more basic than this handset, but the beauty of this, if you own one of these, you can actually use the receiver with this. So I'm going to be using this handset on the Kagama or Kagama, but they use the AFDS, I think it's 2A protocol. And yeah, so your Fly Sky receivers and stuff like that will be no issues. You'll be able to use this. The actual handset itself, though, the spring tension on the handset is very nice, actually. Quite basic in terms of settings. Obviously, you've got this flap that opens up here. As you can see, you've got your steering trim, your power on and off button. You've also got your throttle trim and dual rate, and then obviously your reverse. So quite normal settings, nothing too major, but you can't set your endpoints on there. That's the only one thing I will say. Now, I don't think there's any different features inside. No, well, you can use a LiPo, so that's one good thing, I suppose, with the JST connector. So that's nice. So that's the handset. Maybe would have liked a little bit more tension on the handset itself. Does feel pretty decent, but yeah, to get you going, I don't think you're gonna have any issues with that. It will use 4 AAs or 2S LiPo if you can find one small enough. But yeah, no problem. As for in the instructions, let's have a quick look. Now they did send, and I believe this is in every single Kagama. Obviously, you've got your aerial tube. Quite important to fit these guys. I know a lot of people don't, but yeah, fit this to your vehicle. Obviously, the last thing you want to do is snap your receiver aerial. That's that. Yeah, I'll give you a nice little lanyard, as you can see. I will be putting that on one of my handsets. Funny thing to mention though, I can't see anywhere where you'd fit it on the handset. So, I suppose really you could possibly, I don't know, put a hole in somewhere and put your lanyard on. A key ring. Obviously you've got your instructions for your CT2R handset. And then obviously you've got your instruction manual. Now your instruction manual to the vehicle, it's quite important because obviously it gives you parts numbers and everything else that goes on. And as you can see, they break down each part of the vehicle with your part numbers, obviously showing you how to put your diffs together and so on and so forth. So quite in depth. I quite often, even now, still revert back to a manual just to kind of find out how each vehicle works. I am one of those people who will actually sit there and fully read one of these manuals. Let's have a look. Silicone oil front. So it actually gives you, by the looks on things, the weight and the springs to use for track, off-road, factory, that sort of thing. Yeah, nice that they've done that actually, to be honest with you. Really nice. But yeah, okay, so that's that. And then obviously you've got your Turox or Torux 185, essentially a Max 8 as I mentioned, ESC. And then you've got obviously your programming list. Now, take heed with this, guys. Hobby Wing, the standard, the normal sort of dot matrix LCD screen, just the basic dot matrix LCD screen, not your updated programming box, but obviously all the fancy LCD on there. The standard Hobby Wing will allow you to program it, or you can use the usual beep feature, but that's your table there. Now, out of the box, it comes with a 6-volt back. I will be updated to 7.4. And just a little bit of information about the ESC, 150 amp, 1/8 scale truggy buggy, blah blah blah. Now, LiPo 3 to 6S, so obviously you can run two 3S batteries or a 6S battery. 6-volt switchable, continuous current 6 amps, and then obviously your back and everything else. But yeah, very, very nice. Right, what we'll do now is just dive up top and I'll go from there, guys. I'll see you up top in a second. Hey guys, welcome back. Obviously, as you can see, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've tried to be as thorough as I can with the unboxing, show you some of the key features of the vehicle. Does seem like this is going to hold up. I've got a feeling this is going to be one of the toughest trucks I've ever owned. Some of the features on the vehicle are really, really nice, and some of the design keys to it. I think this is going to hold up the sort of hell of a bashing, and the sort of thing that I'm going to be used to is going to give me some real good longevity. Does seem like it's got the whole deal to it, and if you're into your 6S trucks, this might be the one for you. Big shout out to Team Corally for asking me to do these videos. Really do appreciate it. It's an honor for me to actually record them. And massive shout out to everyone watching the videos as well. All the likes, all the shares and subscribes. It really does mean a lot to me. Make sure you hit the like button and obviously hit the bell and to receive notifications, guys. I'm going to stop bumping my gums. I hope you enjoyed the video. In the next one, what we're going to do is obviously start tucking into the vehicle, checking the diffs, doing the first user checks that I normally do on the channel, and then fingers crossed, with a bit of luck and obviously the weather on my side, we should be able to get the truck out this weekend. Now I'm hoping to obviously give you a 4S and 6S run, and yeah, start sending it a little bit, so it should be a lot of fun. Right guys, until next time, make sure you check the box for more videos. Stay awesome. I'll catch you later.